Welcome to the Kevin Clancy Show. I've been in this game over a decade, and I knew I needed a place where I could run wild on my own solo podcast, where I tell personal stories, I deep dive into conspiracy theories, we rip through the current events of the day, and we do sit-down conversations with the most interesting people on the internet. Make sure you click subscribe so you don't miss an episode. What's up, you mutts? It's another episode of the Kevin Clancy Show, live from Barstool HQ. We'll be taking your calls in a little bit. You see the number up there in the top corner. 888-STOOL-22. I tweeted out the regular numbers if you're following along there. We're going to get into a bunch of shit today. We got never-ending Barstool drama. We'll always go through the New York Post. We'll take those live calls. It's free, free call today, whatever you want to talk about. But I'm starting off today with Jordan Peterson, one of the most ridiculous humans on the face of the earth today. Jordan B. Peterson. If you don't know him, he's this dude from Canada. He's a psychologist, psychiatrist, philosopher, talker. He just talks shit on Twitter. He's just a modern-day shit stirrer. That's what, philosophers are today. Imagine if, Socrates and Aristotle and those cats all had Twitter. That's what, Jordan Peterson's trying to be. Just tweeting out his thoughts. And in one of the most hypocritical moves I think I've ever seen in my life, yesterday, Jordan Peterson decided to weigh in on the cover girl for the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue. Her name is Yumi Nu. She's 25. She's an Asian chick and falls under that category of plus-size models. Peterson, out of nowhere, quote tweets her and the picture of her on the cover and just says, "Not beautiful. Not beautiful. And no sort of authoritarian tolerance is going to make me change my mind." Something to that effect. Now, immediately he gets, shamed and harassed on Twitter. Can we pull up some of those pictures, by the way? Go to his Twitter and pull up his tweets about the cover and then also the aftermath. Because this dude, and he has a fuck ton of followers. I know a lot of you probably know him. I know a lot of people who don't dabble in the world of social media and politics and stuff probably don't. He's got millions of followers. He has die-hard followers, like Ben Shapiro type levels, where people love to own the libs with their constant arguing about the issues. So he has an army of fans and followers who believe and listen to everything he says. I do give him credit for being I don't know. I was gonna say give him credit for tackling some of the issues, but he's kind of just a fucking asshole. But he tweets out "not beautiful." Then when people start to talk shit and call him out, say that he's fat shaming, make fun of him, call out his inadequacies and hypocrisies and all these things, he quits Twitter. He tweets out, there's no place on Twitter, there's no place in the world where you can get hate like you can get on Twitter. And so I'm out of here. He said, bye-bye for now. He said something to the effect of, can we get this tweet up? His, goodbye tweet. He was something about, unprovoked and unprecedented amount of hate. It's brother, you just hopped on the bird and made fun of this chick for no fucking reason. And what's funny, and if you want to get nitpicking about it, obviously you're just an asshole to jump on and be like, this girl shouldn't be on the cover. But he says "not beautiful," which is, if you want to really become an asshole discussing the swimsuit issue and who should be on the cover and what plus size models are like if you like a skinnier woman, that actually, I usually wouldn't call that not beautiful. You know what I mean? It was not only is it just an asshole thing to do, I think the way he went about it was also kind of not the right criticism, if you will. But he goes, you're not beautiful and nobody is going to make me change my mind. A completely unprovoked attack, which is exactly what he's talking about is bad on Twitter. For a dude who sits there and he's like, well, this is an interesting philosophical contradiction now, isn't it? You can't get on Twitter, be a dickhead, and then quit Twitter 5 minutes later because people are being dickheads. That's the bird, man. That's what we do here on Twitter. And I'm not saying that's fun or right or good. I'm just saying that's the reality. So, if you're gonna dish it, you got to take it. To do that, like literally, like maybe I don't know, it was like an hour apart, maybe. Come on, dude. For a guy who loves to argue and debate and gotcha and point out, fallacies and hypocritical bullshit and inconsistencies and contradictions, brother, you can't just. This is like the best day of this girl's life. 25 years old, gets the cover of Sports Illustrated. Yes, let's all be honest. She's a different type of model that usually gets the cover, so she's probably absolutely floored. And then like Jordan Peterson comes along and he's like, "Nah, you're not beautiful, dude." That's a dick move. It's a dick move. Even if you do agree with him, like it's a dick move to say it. If we want to sit here and debate the hottest swimsuit issue cover girls, you can do that, but to just jump in and be like, "You're not beautiful and no one will change my mind," you're a dick. And that's the exact kind of shit that you started fucking crying about 2 minutes later when people were like, you're a fucking loser. Dan in New York, what do you got on Jordan Peterson?
Hey, is this KFC?
Yes, sir. What's up, man?
What's up? It's Danny LoPriore, bro.
Oh, Danny Lowe. What's up, pal?
What's up, bro? So yeah, let me get into it real quick.
This is royalty, by the way. You can't just call up and be like, "Hi, I'm Dan in New York." You got to be like, "I'm Danny Lowe, motherfuckers. Put me on."
I tried, but he sunned me. Your producer fucking.
Well, you know what? Then you got to get your weight up, boy.
Let me suck your titties, baby.
There you go. Now the people know.
There it is.
There you go.
Now the people know.
All right. What do you got on Jordan?
A lot of this really just comes down to that this guy's just like kind of an old white dude that's never took down something that's dummy thick.
That's what's up. I'm like, yo, if you want to come on Twitter and say I'm not into thick chicks because I can't handle that ass, then that's fine. You mean new, just throw that ass around and break Jordan Peterson's hips, dude.
And first of all, her face is gorgeous. First of all,
that was kind of what I was alluding to. I didn't want to get into the specifics of like, she's like, if
she looks fun in the sack.
Yeah, and if you wanted to criticize her, if you wanted to be an asshole about it, obviously the thing that we would point out is more her weight and not her looks. So that was why it was double weird for him to be like, not beautiful. It's like, well, you're just not even doing this right, dude.
Yeah. So, listen, we're in a very strange world now where everything's like, hey, like body positivity, but also like health and stuff. It's
sure.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like, I haven't seen her blood test. If like her blood test came back like type 2 diabetes, I'm like, all right, like let's get that under control.
Yeah, and I know I've seen people point out before that like the swimsuit, the Sports Illustrated cover is like a little different than like Victoria's Secret because we are talking about sports and athletes and fitness. And so that's where I think some of the thicker chicks and guys are like, maybe you're not hot in a traditional sense, but you are actually like an athlete and you are fit. So yeah, I mean, I don't know about that, right? You don't know either, but that's why like, it's weird to point.
The chicks that were fat 10 years ago are like not fat now.
You know what? Honestly, I feel bad for thick chicks back in like the early 90s when it was like the supermodel era. Ugh. Those chicks who were like imagine that now. Chicks now who are absolutely like dudes are drooling and chasing after them, looking for that ass. Back in like the early Cindy Crawford 90s, they would be like, ugh, get her away from me. That's crazy to me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, even when Kate Upton was on the cover, people were like, oh, she's, like, kind of thick.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
Dude, that was – but you know what? Even with Kate Upton, like, this girl looks like she's, like – Kate Upton was one scenario. I remember White Sox Dave here said what do you call Kate Upton a 6? I think that was his line.
Yeah,
Kate Upton
like
is a 6 out of 10.
He's an idiot.
Now I do remember myself. I was critiquing – Kate Upton back in the days of Barstool where we were actually allowed to do that without getting canceled. And I said, we put Kate Upton on a level of like number one supermodel in the world. And I remember being like, not in my book. But to call her a 6, I think I think White Sox Dave said like he would maybe give her the time of day at the bar.
No, but even with like Camille, right? You guys have a Camille picture up.
Mm-hmm.
Camille's a friend of mine. It's like, is she like the stereotypical body type of what people think a model is?
No, but she's a fucking rocket. And that's where I'm like, dude, I can understand when you're doing like fashion modeling, because I do believe that tall, skinny people, like clothes and dresses and stuff, like fit on you nicely.
Well, Europeans don't make clothes for fat people.
Exactly. That's just the fact. No fatties. You know my policy regarding fatties. No fatties over in Europe. But when you're talking about swimsuit edition, where you're just trying to, we're showcasing bikinis, whatever. We're just trying to show that ass, show that body off. I'm not looking for that supermodel look. That pancake ass looks weird.
I know, but where are the thick bros too, though?
Yeah, I feel like we need that's the next step. Like we need Danny Lowe on the cover of Sports Illustrated. I saw you on that boxing video the other day on your Instagram when you squatted down in front of that camera, crotch out. I almost got there, Danny. I was close.
The undercarriage is outrageous.
The undercarriage.
Show the world,
bro. You have acres of undercarriage down there, dude.
100%.
Square mileage.
Punch the shit out of a heavy bag. So it's like, I'm getting sexy. I'm just trying to be as sexy as possible. And then I see this guy fucking Jordan Peterson down talking this you me new. I was like, this guy's an old, decrepit old white guy who's never took down a thick piece of ass.
I feel like, and I know this sounds like a bizarre punishment because it would actually be a reward, but I feel like you me new needs to go ahead and just wreck Jordan Peterson's dick and be like, this is what you thought you were able to criticize. I think she should put it on him, put a hurting on him, and open his eyes to like what the real world. What do you think? Give me a good. Who do you think Jordan Peterson does think is beautiful?
Like Laura Dern. I think is beautiful, but like that's like what he's like. He sees Laura Dern and just like gets hard.
That
You know who talks about thick chicks like this? Guys who can't handle that ass.
Yes. That's exactly what it is. It's like you call it fat, and the reality is you probably couldn't even reach. You'd probably just be in between those butt cheeks if you were trying to even hit it from behind. You would probably get smushed.
He looks like a fucking cigarette.
Yo, and that voice is, imagine him in the bedroom being like, like, ride that dick, please. Please.
Yeah. I would love to go through that guy's hard drive.
Oh, yo, that's the type of guy who has terabytes and terabytes of weird shit on there.
Oh, 100%. Like old fucking those big ass orange hard drives that everyone buys? He has like 8 of those.
He's got some lemon party shit. He's got all sorts of weird stuff going on there. Actually, that's also a dude I could see being straight up asexual. Like that guy gets off. That guy gets off when he points out like a logical fallacy on Twitter. He comes.
He's the type of dude that wears like a watch to bed.
Man, fuck Jordan Peterson is what it comes down to. Fuck that dude.
I do have one question for you though.
Hit me.
Are you Team Hank?
I will always be Team Hank for every reason under the sun. The dude is a great guy, and
I'll die for Hank.
Right, but because of that, I will also let Hank dictate what I'm going to get all bent out of shape about. And I haven't heard Hank say a fucking word about it. I haven't heard Hank complain. I haven't heard Hank cry. I haven't heard Hank fight or anything. And so I wouldn't, I'm Team Hank without needing to massacre Team Marty. I don't think we need to end careers to show support for Hank when Hank seems to be doing pretty good in my mind.
And my thing is now, one, he's going to get like a flock of ass from this. I hope. 2, I'm sure he was doing fine before that. 3, right? If you look at it like this, Hank's kind of like that rapper with the entourage, and like he doesn't. If he wanted to send the hitters, he could, but like he's like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah, the hitters just know. Well, it's like almost reverse in a way because the hitters are the big dogs right now, going out for the guy who usually would be the hitter that the big dogs would send out. But that's my, he's trying
to keep it peaceful though. But like, I just feel like they're not having it.
Yeah, like there was a couple smirks here and there when Brady posts and the Celtics post, and he just kind of smiles, knowing that he's on the winning side of this. But I don't know, man. Marty's my dog, and I feel like feel like there's a lot of people out there who you can even be Team Hank, think that everything was fucked up, and start to acknowledge that like this is getting pretty fucking ridiculous.
You know what we got to do? We got to hook Hank up with You Me New.
Now that's a guy Hank would know how to handle that. Have you ever seen the picture of Hank on Snapchat when he was trying to sext with that surfer chick Anastasia Ashley?
Yes.
That's a dude. He put the fucking feet up on the bathroom counter. You want to talk about undercarriage? That dude was letting his balls hang. Took a picture on Snapchat, turned it into a surfing masterpiece, and sent it to a chick who, if you want to talk about ass, she was, I think, like a 10-time Guess That Ass Tournament of Champions winner. So that's a guy who knows all about that ass.
And Hank definitely eats ass.
I mean, who doesn't at this point? Come on.
Yeah, no. It's 2022. You know, let big girls be on the cover of Sports Illustrated, eat their buttholes.
And live your life.
Enjoy it.
That's the motto, man. We should run for president, you know. We'll be on a ticket together, and our platform will be, like eat ass, thick chicks, live life. Done.
That's it. And I'm Puerto Rican, so we'll get the Latino vote.
Ooh, the Latinx. Let's go. And the white boys are gonna be minorities soon enough. Soon enough, you'll need me on the ticket to get the minorities to vote.
That's true. But listen, we're gonna do it. Keep doing your thing, bro. That dude is a fucking asexual nerd.
Yo, I gotta say, just last night, scrolling Instagram, and your latest banger came on. What was it? The Jesus song?
Oh yeah, Don't Frick with Jesus.
Don't Frick with Jesus, and exactly how you were nodding your head on the couch. Like, you talk about a head nodder. Like, that shit slaps. These songs all need to be put out officially.
They're gonna come out. It's we're just like clearing it with like producers and shit, and like making sure everybody gets like whatever money they're entitled to.
If people listen,
I found out Doja Cat follows me last night, so I've been celebrating ever since.
No, yo,
yeah, I got the Doja Cat follow, dog.
Are you now nervous? I know that sometimes when people get a big follower, they then freeze up on their next posts.
Nah, I'm too much of a thug.
I was gonna say you're a gangster, dude. Gangsters don't freeze up when the hot chicks come following. Like what? So what?
Shit for 10 years, bro.
I think your next song needs to be like about crushing thick ass and fat titties and stuff, because Doja's 100%. She's watching now.
Yeah, I know. So I got it's one of those things where I just you put your head down,
get back in the lab.
People get scared. Some people get scared. I get motivated.
That's what's up. Rise to the occasion, Danny.
Who is the producer, by the way?
Of what? This show?
That put me on the phone, yeah.
We got Nick and we got my man Za back there. I'm not sure who was screening calls. Za, do you know Danny?
I am aware of his videos, so I don't know. Was him on the line? He was speaking very softly, but then after he went on and we looked up, I was like, oh yeah.
Once
Let
you
me suck your titties.
Yeah, once you hear that those pipes, you know. Who
I actually had no idea what his name was. I just knew the videos. So my bad, bro. I'm sorry.
No. I wanted to say, dude, I love everything you do, bro.
Oh, stop it. Thank you, man. Appreciate you.
Wait, Danny, before we let you go, I know you're Puerto Rican, so you're not in this demo, but have you heard about our demographic breakdown on KFC Radio?
Was it 82% white men?
21%. That's, you want to talk about glass half empty there, you asshole. 81% white, sure. That means 21% African American. Do you believe it, yes or no?
Yeah, why not?
Well, why not? I'll tell you why not, because it makes no goddamn sense.
You're like the only semi-liberal show on
Barstool. The numbers came from Nielsen ratings, which is like the real deal, and I like to believe it's true. So maybe I also like to believe in Santa Claus, but whatever. There's no reason not to believe it.
Well, Zaz like 16% of that. Probably.
I was gonna say Za represents he speaks for the people. So if Za's down, then
I'm telling you, that guy moves mountains, dude.
I mean,
that guy's a legend.
Figuratively and literally. You ever seen him? You want to talk about thick girl? Za is caked up.
You let Za loose next to Yumi Nu.
Oh,
I
buddy.
wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Yo, Za, what would you do to Yumi Nu?
Oh God, I was actually I was talking to these guys in the backyard. I don't know if I can say what I said, but it's and I mean this from the kindest possible way. I mean this in the nicest thing. I was just saying, it's like, yo, a bunch of my white friends, once a grown ass woman is over 100 pounds, they're like not even looking at her. I'm like, what are you doing?
It's one of our worst traits, and that's saying a lot about the white people. But man, when you look at some of these girls, it's like, I mean, to me, I've always just said, tits are great, but you're a boy if you like tits, and you're a man if you like ass. Now, I know you want to suck those titties, Danny, but do you understand where I'm coming from? Yeah.
But like, listen. When it comes down to it, tits are great. I'm a titty ambassador. I have been for a long time.
For years.
But a beautiful fucking thick ass.
There's nothing like
unmatched.
It's unmatched. Like, and not even. I mean, just period. Like in the world, food, travel, fun, entertainment. None of it compares to a big juicy ass.
Weird too. It's like when we talk about like people that like fall in love and shit. It's like, listen, I'm a thick dude with a wife that's like out of my league. But like for me, it's like as soon as I saw her butt, I was like, this is outrageous.
Yeah. I don't know if there's an equivalent for girls. You can there's a lot of things that girls like about a guy physically. We know that when a guy is funny and charming, that's what really gets the job done. But I don't know if there's something
It's
wallet. Yeah, his wallet. I guess so. But there's just something I think more primal about the ass where it's like it's ridiculous, and I just want to touch it and play with it and like goof around with it as much as I want to do terrible.
Play with the dick.
You can't play with a dick.
Play with the dick.
And you can enjoy the money, but you can't like physically. You want to like pat it and hit it and wiggle it and squeeze. It's just fun.
Yeah, and the other thing too is like if penises were better looking, like across the scale, like there's a spectrum to like penis cuteness.
Right, but none of it's good.
There is a spectrum. But none of it's good. It's hard to take a really nice dick pic, and then like you have those guys that put the camera, myself, like really close to the penis. So it looks bigger than it actually is.
Oh yeah, you got to do a little camera trickery, angles and shit.
Yeah, you know what? Like a zoomed in picture of a penis is like the equivalent of the side ass picture in the gym by a girl.
Yep. I agree. It's like we all know that that's some trickery. We all know that, let me see the real thing on its worst day. The best dick pic is like the scale is from 0 to 10, but we can only get to like 5 with our dicks,
Yeah, and and there's like genetics there that we can't even touch.
You know what? As I say that though, I know some chicks who really like dick and like do appreciate a good dick, but I think even they would admit that
really like dick.
But there are girls who like it, but then, well, here's the thing: do you think that a pussy looks hot? Like a zoomed in vagina is not exactly the most beautiful painting I've ever seen.
No, but I'll tell you, like there could be a very pretty pussy.
You don't think there could be a very pretty dick? I want to show you.
You see Jesse Williams' penis?
I have not yet seen this. I've heard word of it. I've heard that was more that it was huge, not necessarily pretty.
This dude's hanging dong. I mean, and he's got a pretty face and he's got a pretty penis.
I'm gonna try to pull that up real quick. I know we can't put it on the show because fucking.
No. Yeah, no. Pull up that big dick.
I next time I see you, I'm gonna show you my dick because I think I have a very pretty penis. Oh wow. Okay, wait a minute. Hang on. I'm seeing it now. You know what the key is here is if you can.
Lighting.
Well, no, but of course that helps. But when you have a great soft dick, you are all that is man. Like I'm not gonna lie. When I grow to my fullest extent, I'm a pretty dick. I look nice, and I think it is big enough. But when my penis is soft, Danny, it is mortifying.
I'm looking at mine right now, and it looks like an old, like dead elephant's trunk.
Remember those
been
things?
cut in half.
Remember those things as kids? Those little rubber things that you could flip inside out, and then the poppers, and they would like pop up.
Yeah.
I just have that. I look down, I see two balls, and I just see one of those little poppers, and it's just.
Yeah.
But then surprise, it's a passable dick that has some nice. I got a good tip.
Do you have one of those weird white penises though that are like two-toned?
Yeah. I got the Neapolitan going. It's tri-toned. You have the tip. You basically straight up have the chocolate, vanilla, and strawberry, because I don't know what it is, but there's a lot of white dicks that not only have the two-toned plus the tip, but also where the color changes, there's like this ring that also kind of has this little like spot. Almost looks like the spots on like Jupiter when you look at a planet and they have like the great red spot. It's,
That's herpes.
There's that what you're seeing on the screen right now. That's basically my dick right there, the Neapolitan ice cream. And
no, if you're a dude with a big flaccid wiener, you're just unstoppable.
Yeah, that's because you know why? Because you can actually show that off if you're in a locker room. If somebody walks in on you changing, like if Jesse Williams was walking around with his dick hard like that, you're going to jail, bro. That's like you're registered. You're on a sex offender list. You're walking around naked with your dick aroused. But that guy can just be like, oh, whoops, like I didn't know anyone was looking in the locker room. But now that you're here, take a look at this thing. I'm not even trying right now.
Absolutely killing it. Absolutely crushing the game. Penis is hard to come by, like a really nice one. But like, if somebody says you have a pretty penis, I think you should take that and like wear that as a badge of honor.
I was once told that they would like to meet the doctor that circumcised me to shake his hand and tell him thank you. And I took that as the highest of compliments.
Yeah, that's big because you put a lot of your prettiness into the hands of some fucking asshole.
You really think about that. Like some dude, especially when you're talking about that, it's just one little snip with and if you go an extra centimeter this way or that way, you could change a guy's entire life.
Dude, listen, I rep Uncert gang.
I know you are that anteater, that hooded dragon.
I got that. I'm out here with that Uncert dong. But you want to know what it is? It's like, when I was a kid, I always felt like people were like, like uncircumcised penises are gross. But now that like I'm getting older and like the world's more PC, like free the foreskin.
Well, it is weird that the standard has become, let's make sure we chop the tips of dicks off right away. That's a weird thing that we do.
It's very wild. But you got your son circumcised, right?
Yeah, listen, to each their own. I'm not trying to shit on Uncirc gang, but I'm also not trying to have my kid, it's just an extra thing for you to worry about, right? You got to get in there and scrub it. And that's just, we don't want to do that.
Yeah, I don't want to be like cycling through my son's foreskin.
Right. I'm not trying to have that problem. So wait, if you have a kid and you have a boy, what are you going to do?
I'm going to leave it up to their mother.
Okay.
I would want my son to be circumcised because I don't want him to grow up the way I did. You know what I mean?
Trying to work through that trauma, bro.
I don't want him to go through what I went through. You know what I'm saying?
That bullying, dude. That Uncirc bullying is some of the worst out there.
Dude, when I was in 7th grade, I was changing for basketball, and I took, obviously, my underwear off. And my friends, I lived in like an all-Jewish community.
Oh, so they are the kings of the snip. Yeah.
Kings of the snip. And then one of them looked and they're like, ew, what's up with your penis?
That's so mean.
I was like, oh, god damn, bro. Like, what? He was like, what's up with your dick? I was like, I'm uncircumcised. He was like, really? I was like, nah, dude, it's an attachment.
No, man, I just like turned it inside out for fun, man. Yeah.
Do you know though, like when like a rabbi or whoever like snips their penis, like they'll suck it a little bit?
Yes, I do, man, because there was that fucking ridiculous, there was that rabbi that was giving little kids herpes. He was doing it with his mouth, dude. He was putting his mouth on it afterwards, and all of a sudden you're fucking, swear to God, dude, Bible. If you look it up, there was some like Hasidic or Orthodox or whatever who gave a couple kids, we're talking however many days old, and your kids got the herp. Brutal.
Bro, first of all, I would fucking kill that guy.
Absolutely. I would sue him for all of his money, and then after I get it, I'm murdering you.
Yeah, and then you have to grow up and be like, I got herpes from my rabbi when I was born.
Right.
Fuck.
You know what? You got to, like, when you tell a girl, yeah, look at this, baby herpes linked to circumcision practices. Imagine you tell a girl, and you're like, you know what? I'm doing the right thing here. I got to tell you, girl, like, I'm sorry, I have genital herpes. And then they're like, well, obviously, your dick becomes a little less appealing, but also they're thinking, oh, wow, this dude's like a man whore. And you got to be like, no, it's okay. I got it from a 75-year-old rabbi when I was 2 days old. Come on. You think you had it rough in the locker room, Danny? Brutal, dude. Brutal.
God, I don't know. We got to train, like, standards and practices. That one's got to change.
Yeah, I would say that, like, the number one rule should be, like, just do it with scissors and don't suck it. How about that, rabbis?
Yeah. And you get your fucking herpes-infested rabbi mouth away from my kid's dick.
That's pretty much bare fucking minimum for the moil, I would ask. Jesus. This is a very KFC radio type conversation. I hope my... How what?
I'm just like, dude, don't suck my kid's dick. How hard is that?
How hard is that? Like, are we really asking too much of you, Rabbi? To just...
I don't think so.
Not kind of blow my kid when he was days old? Ugh.
Oh, Jesus.
Unreal, man.
No pun intended.
Yeah. You keep doing your thing, man. Tell people what's going on right now. I can follow you on Danny LoPriore. You got anything else cooking you want to tell the people about?
Just everywhere on the internet. Danny LoPriore, LoPriore podcast. If you liked what you heard, we do that for about 2.5 hours every Tuesday. So,
and I might add,
hang out.
I might add top 5 freestyler on the planet Earth. No joke. The bars that Danny spits, not only funny, but absolute fucking bars on the most ridiculous topics. So go follow him, and
appreciate it.
And we'll catch up soon, dude.
Show,
yeah, I was gonna say let's get you in person soon. I got to see that thick ass.
Sounds good, Daddy.
All right, bro. Have a good one. The incomparable Danny LoPriore. And what's even crazier is he'll tell you he's not even the funny one. Mike is the funny one. And he is a trip, too. So when those two guys get together, it's almost like the chemistry that me and my brother have, except they're also funny and talented Puerto Ricans, which is just always going to beat two white guys, you know? Me and Bren get on the mic, and it's like you guys have white guy chemistry. Danny and Mike get on the mic, and, it's like Puerto Rican magic. So certain things you just, you can't replicate. Let's keep it going with some of the calls, and then I'll get back to some of the topics. Adam from New York, what do you got on my girl, my woman, Polly Feitelberg?
I mean, what a freaking mom.
She's the best.
Raw meat, pulling teeth, kid gone for 2 days, having to have another mom be like, hey, 2 days, probably too long to have your kid not being home. I mean, undefeated.
I might have to remember those shirts that we made from, I don't know how long term of a stool you are, but back in the day, we would have these shirts that always rhymed. Like it would say
just a 3-phrase, yep.
Yeah, no, what was like some of the big ones though? Like for Rex Ryan, we had like getting beat and kissing feet, and we had we had like pick 6 and like show your dick for Brett Favre, and raping chicks for Roethlisberger, all these things. We might need to have raw meat and pulling teeth. Polly Feitelberg. I mean, that bitch goes hard in the paint. How about? So if you don't know, by the way, last episode of KFC Radio this week on Tuesday, we had Polly Feitelberg, my co-host John's mom, on the show. John is just filled with these preposterous stories starting from day one of his life. And so we had to get his mom on the show to talk about some of these outlandish things. So she confirms all these stories. She gives us her point of view. She actually gave us some shit from behind the scenes off the cutting room floor we didn't know about. We got the DVD extras. But the icing on the cake was the Giannis talk. when she just all of a sudden started, she was like, I'm not a hockey girl, but I'm an NBA girl. And she said something about how, like, Giannis is good but not great. And I was like, damn, that's a hot take. Giannis is, like, the best player on the planet. But the fact that you even just weave that into the conversation, you are goated. I mean, she lived up to the hype and then some.
She truly was. And then, I mean, I got to say, are you a little nervous for your mom interview?
Oh, totally. I actually.
Skeletons in the closet?
No, I'm not even worried about skeletons. I just know that my mom is a lot more of a normal. Well, she's not normal, but, like, she's certainly not normal. And we could pull out some stories for sure, but I just don't. It's a hard act to follow. It's a hard act to follow.
That was my next thing. I was like,
yeah.
Can you even top that? And
like,
then,
you know, we could. Here's the thing: if she would get honest about some of the shit that, like, she said to my dad and what her and my dad went through, and my dad had a monkey and all these crazy things. But you know, there's not.
You just casually dropped your dad had a monkey.
Yeah, my dad had a monkey. If you don't know the story, do you know that one, Adam? Have you ever heard that story?
Oh my God, no! That one must have skipped me. Can we hear it?
Yeah, let me tell the story, bro. Thanks for the call. My father, he was born in Meadville, Pennsylvania, which is like northwest Pennsylvania. It is the sticks, bro. It is the middle of nowhere. It was a big time industry city town. It was like a lot of locomotive. A lot of people worked on the railroads, worked there. And so then when that kind of, shifted in America, it was kind of became a ghost town. He grew up, like, what he did for fun, he used to count cars.
Yeah. They
would sit on the step, weren't allowed to leave the stoop, and they would just count the cars that go by. Real hillbilly shit, you know? And then he becomes... And he's like a teenager, and I'm not sure exactly when this was. It was probably high school, because eventually he went to the Merchant Marines, came to New York in the Bronx, Fort Schuyler. He would ship out all around the world, and then lived in New York. So this must have been like before he went to college. He was living in the woods, like in like a cabin with his buddy. And their next door neighbor was, I believe, a lesbian who was an electrician, and it was the buddy that he lived with had a dog. I believe, I'm trying to remember where he got the monkey, but the monkey had one eye, and his name was, so he named him Deadeye, Deadeye the spider monkey. And I'm trying to, it came. Like, I don't think they just found it in the woods, but I think that's when he was living in that cabin was the time he had that monkey. And I'll have to ask him. Maybe I'll text him now.
There's monkeys. There's, like, monkeys out in the wild here?
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, it couldn't have been that, because I think it was just more coincidence. Let me see. Where/how did you get Deadeye the monkey? And here's the thing about my dad. When I ask him these questions, he knows what I'm asking. Actually, maybe I can pull up the email, because I emailed him and was just expecting, like, an answer, like just, yes or no or whatever.
Oh, and he gave you the whole story.
And he dove in. He was like, well, it had to be about the summer of '73, and he just dives in. And I was like, holy shit, this is the story. This is the storyteller in our blood. This is why I am who I am today. It was I probably emailed him though, like, oh, is this it? Fuck yes. Here we go. This dates back to 2014. I'm sorry about these other calls right now. The Jordan Peterson fans, we're switching gears here. July 1st, 2014, I emailed him. I said, I just mentioned the story of Deadeye, your monkey, on my show, and the viewers went wild. They want to know more about him, how he met his demise. I told him, I don't want to bury the lead here, so can you fill me in? He goes, it had to be the summer of 1971, and Herbie Bortz and I had left 443 Poplar Street. So this is what I'm talking about. He's giving the details, because now he's in story mode.
Apartment number?
Yeah, he goes, I had to leave 443 Poplar Street because he had eaten your grandfather's last Klondike bar, and that set him over the edge. So Herbie comes to the house, eats my grandpa's last Klondike bar. My grandpa has a hot head. He's like, get the fuck out of here. So my dad and Herbie, they move out. Herbie was a Blackfoot American Indian and was without a home due to his folks splitting up and leaving town. Don and Alma, that's my grandparents, had graciously let him live with us. So we went off in Pearl, which is he had a 1940 Chevy that looked like a black Pearl, so we named her Pearl. So we went off in Pearl, and we found a cabin in Cambridge Springs to live in. It had electricity, but no running water, and it had an outhouse. We took baths in the stream fed by the springs. Anyway, the original owner of Deadeye was a beautiful Barbie doll-like girl named Franny Logue. Now, I've heard about Franny Logue before. My dad used to casually mention this girl Franny that I think was maybe prior to my mom, maybe during, who knows. And I think she was a baddie. I think Franny was a baddie. For some unknown reason, I was dating her. She was way out of my league ahead of me in school and always dated the jock studs. She must have been going through her bad boy phase. So
your dad was a bad boy?
Yeah, dude. My dad always said my dad was not a sports guy, and his best friend Danny was captain of the football team, quarterback of the football team. When my grandfather died, we went back to Meadville and for the funeral, and all of a sudden I'm getting Danny to tell all these stories. And he was like this supreme athlete, could whip it, had a huge arm, and he said he'd be playing in the game and would look over and would see my dad underneath the bleachers with the cheerleaders. And he said he would be like, what the fuck, man? Like, I'm out here putting up, 300 yards and my man Tim's over there just cleaning up.
Working on the chicks.
Yeah, exactly. So, so must have been going through her bad boy phase. She was leaving for college, and she had this poor squirrel monkey with a bad eye that she could not take with her. So Herbie and I adopted the little boy. Now, I don't know why Franny had a fucking monkey. I don't know where she got the monkey from living in the burbs of Pennsylvania, but there was Deadeye, the monkey. We took him back to the cabin where we uncaged him, and he pretty much had the run of the place. For some reason, he liked to perch up on your feet if you were laying down. He also disliked our very masculine female electrician that lived in the next cabin over. But that's another story for another time that your mother would not like hearing. Getting back to school, heading into the winter, we found an apartment back in Meadville, and along came Deadeye with us. Somewhere along the line, Herbie ended up with 3 puppies that we also adopted for some unknown reason, as we were completely broke and could barely feed ourselves, let alone a monkey and 3 dogs.
Jesus, he is running a zoo.
Oh, yeah, man. It's like some Ace Ventura shit. And so it came to pass, as the dogs got bigger and hungrier, one day we came home, and Deadeye was nowhere to be found. I surmised the pups had him for lunch, but we will never know. Maybe he escaped and went back to Franny. So my dad's friend's dog ate his one-eyed monkey.
Wait, hold on. Rewind. How did he become one-eyed?
That he doesn't know. That happened
okay,
when Deadeye was with Franny. He only had one eye, and then he told me that one day they came home, and because it was like fucking a zoo, the place was a wreck.
Yeah.
But it looked like there was almost. He said like there was really no way to tell. He didn't find any like bones or any evidence. But like the monkey was gone, the pups were laying down, and it looked like there had been a ruckus. So yeah.
Monkeys are tough, man. Monkeys
are bad motherfuckers.
They're 1,000 times worse than dogs. You don't want to leave them alone.
No, they literally have the run of the place. So, yeah, he. When I tell people that, they're like, it's a casual thing for me because we've heard about this fucking monkey our whole lives.
Oddly enough, I actually have a not similar story. It wasn't a live monkey, but like my family.
Was it a dead monkey?
My family had a stuffed monkey that was like this little. I have no idea. We got it from like our grandfather, but it was sitting on a log holding a little orb, and we had this little rat Chihuahua Pickles. That one day we got home, that thing knocked it off a shelf, ate the skin clean off its head. It was like an 80-year-old monkey, and then. puked it up,
Yeah.
and fucking ate it again. It was a little trash bag dog.
Yeah.
But my dad still has the monkey with like the skull out. It looks so fucking creepy, just like in the garage in the corner to freak people out.
Dude.
It is fucking weird.
That's weird, and that's coming from a guy who has a dad who had a dog that ate a monkey and lived with a lesbian electrician in the woods. I mean, and if I think it's weird, it's fucking weird. I'll see if I can get how and where he got it from Franny, because I don't know what she was doing. It's not like they lived in the fucking like in the Amazon or Africa or wherever the fuck these monkeys are from. How do we even get onto that?
I can't even remember how monkeys came
I
up.
do not even know. My
went from
dad
Jordan-
with the one-eye monkey.
Jordan Peterson to monkeys.
I blame Danny. Danny got us all sidetracked. Yeah, sure. We're going to get to some of your calls here. We got a couple more. It's brought to you by Cuts. Cuts makes the best shirts in the game, whether you're looking for T-shirts, long sleeve tees, whether you're looking for hoodies, polos, whether you want the Henley cut, the V-neck, the crew neck, whether you want the scoop hem at the bottom, the elongated look. They've got you covered every which way with premium fabrics, super soft. I prefer I go a size up. If you're in shape, the Henleys, the cuts in general look awesome. They make your arms look big. They make you look like big shoulders. Skinny fat doesn't quite play as well for me, so I go a size up, and I get the soft. It's stretchy a little bit, too. And the best part is they just have all the essentials. They've got, like, black, white, navy, gray, tan, all of just, like, the basics that you need that match every single thing in your closet, whether it's summer, spring, winter, fall. They've got you covered for whether you're going to work, whether you're going on a date, whether you're going out. You can match it to your pants. You can match it to your jacket. The whole fit is going to look sharp. So see why for yourself. See why Cuts is one of the fastest growing men's brand with over 1 million shirts sold. Get 15% off your first order when you go to cutsclothing.com/Kevin. That's CUTS clothing.com/Kevin. Get 15% off your order. You can even match them to your Crocs. Yeah, that's right, buddy. I have made the fucking move.
Not you, Kevin.
Uh-huh.
Not you.
Uh-huh.
God.
Dog. I got the Crocs. I am part of Crocs family. Now, I will say, I did it in the only way that I could. I got a pair of, this is a collab with a famous custom sneaker guy and streetwear guy by the name of Jeff Staple. He makes the Pigeon Nike Dunks that are, some of the most sought after sneakers in the shoe game. And so he made this. It's supposed to rep New York City and the Pigeons. That's why if you look, this is kind of representing the New York City sidewalk. It's got when the sidewalk has those sparkly speckles.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck those are, but that the sidewalk lights up. And then it came along.
Times Square and all.
Yeah. That's the look, and then the little things that come along with it. These, I don't know. I think they're called jibbies or something.
Yeah.
What are they? Gibbets, which made me very uncomfortable because it sounds like a racist term. Like when someone was like, "Dude, do you have any gibbets?" I was like, "Whoa." I don't know if we're allowed to say that word, gibbets. But it came with a whole bunch of them. I like this one. It's a alligator coming out of the sewer. That's like the old school, New York City urban legend, and he's eating a slice of pizza. And then on the other one, I have the patented Staple Pigeon. So here's the deal. I would have probably would have said exactly what you said, Za. Would have never thought I was joining the Crocs family. But I saw something happen. I saw my esteemed colleague, Dikembe Mutombo.
He's a Crocs guy too?
Oh, he is the Crocodile King.
I actually just saw him.
I don't think he wears them out much. I think he wears them in the house, and he said that he goes, they're the best shoes to wear around the house and run for errands. I said, fuck it, man. These are comfortable. I like them. I'm going to get a pair for like slippers, but I'm also just going to rock them out. But he's got like a bunch of different pairs and a bunch of the different charm thingies. But I trust him to my grave with everything. I'll follow him to the ends of the earth. I trust Clem. I also have a friend of mine.
Speaking of the devil, there he is.
Has he got him?
Nah, he's got some Nikes. He's got some Nikes on.
You get him?
On deck.
Come on in. I'm gonna get the big guy in. Do we have another mic that works, or does he have to?
Yeah.
Or should I send him to the back there?
We can zoom out or.
Yo, man. Which this one right here? Like
whichever
okay.
mic.
Pop right there.
You can pull up.
Because we're talking Crocs, Daddy. We're talking Crocs family. And you know, I mentioned it, and Za gave me the typical old response. Oh no, not you, Kevin. And I was saying, when Clem talks, I listen. I trust Clem with my life. And on top of you was also, not literally because this would be gross, the Big Wheeze, my buddy who I've known for literally at this point 30 years now. He was getting into the Crocs game. So I got like a moose nut going on. So I was like, you know what? Let me give it a whirl. And I will say this. I was a little skeptical, but I wanted to do it. I originally wanted to do it for a little bit of content. Yep. I also thought that I was like, you know what? Crocs have such a bad reputation. Maybe we go to Crocs and we say, do you want to do a custom Barstool Croc? And that way you guys can get a little bit cool. Crocs laughed in our fucking face. They said maybe in 2 years, there's a 2-year waiting list for you to even talk to us because we're busy doing
customs.
Because we're doing another Balenciaga collab. So people can make fun of Crocs all they want. There's a reason why everybody knows the motherfucking name, dude. How long you been a Crocs family member?
Shit.
While now?
It's either 1 or 2 years. It's sometime during the pandemic. So it's just
so it's a pandemic thing.
Pandemic thing, and again, starts as a content thing. We said on Podfathers, RIP and Peace. This is our first weekend without it. This is the Podfathers.
This is it right now.
Podfathers episode
get
right
your
now.
Podfathers fix. 40% of the KFC radio audience come along to the Kevin Clancy show to get your Podfathers fix. We're all mixing it up. It's a podcast orgy.
You said it perfectly though. It's like partially content, and like that's the thing. You can do like reckless shit at Barstool because you're like, I'm just gonna have fun with it, do content. And then you end up falling in love with it. Weird shit.
So, but you when you bought it, you were like, this is gonna be a goofy thing we're doing. And
I said, but I've heard a million times. Anytime we talk Crocs, they're like, just
try them.
Don't knock it till you try. You hear it a million times. And this is the thing. All dads know this. Za isn't a dad, at least that he knows of, right? We know this.
Yeah, Za might have like 8 or 9 kids running around. Who knows?
There's levels of when you just stop caring as a dad.
Yes.
And by that's how the dad genes, even the mom genes. When you're a parent, you just stop caring about little things. That's when your dad's just wearing the same shirt out every day, and that's when you go to the fucking shoes. I got to the Crocs, and I said, like, I'm not fucking
How good
cool.
could it be? Like,
I'm driving a minivan.
Yep.
Right? I'm wearing.
Okay, but here's the thing. What you just described, like the dad jeans, yeah. Like there are certain things that no doubt are like you look lame or whatever. But Crocs, the Nike Monarchs, like the official like dad shoe, and the minivan are 3 things that I think are all fire.
Yes.
And it's not like I think the dad jeans are like dad jeans. But I think Crocs, first of all, okay, what? You're going to come out and wear another pair of Jordan 1s. You got another pair of patent leather 11s. You bought another pair of fucking off-whites. Like, we've seen it. These shits right here are different, man. They're fucking unique. They're weird. They're wacky. This is the kind of shit that's in right now. You even look at like Kanye and Yeezy. I don't really subscribe to like whatever Kanye does is what matters. But he's got the weird rubber things going, and people regard that as high society, high fashion. Why does Crocs get all the hate? Why do fucking minivans get all the hate when it's basically just you take your living room and you make it mobile?
I don't like easiness. I don't like comfort. I want to be uncomfortable. I want to pay a lot of money for something that doesn't make me feel good. That's what
minivans, that's
doing.
what Crocs are. That's what the Monarchs are too. The Monarchs actually have become, I think, cool because it's like in an ironic way. Because they do look like it's a regular, like, cool look. It just has such a stigma. But if you rock it with confidence, all of a sudden it becomes like, oh, he's rocking the Monarch, like, on purpose. The minivan, I mean, it's got, if you do it right, you've got the flip-down DVDs. You've got the electronic doors opening in and out. You've got the captain's chairs. It's like
you fold those back seats down and you have this fucking oasis of shit to do.
You make another baby in that thing.
Yep. And then you're going to Costco, you're getting all your dad shit, and you're just packing it, and it's like, we have plenty of room.
Bro, and I know, people saying going to Costco is not the, it's not exactly the fun dream, right? We used to drive around. My buddy Vinny had one. We called it the Vinny van. And we would all cram in there, drive to the party. We're carrying the kegs. We got the beer. We're driving, picking up girls. Come on in. It's like, it's a paddy wagon, party wagon. It is, if you took away the stigma, and I know that's impossible for some people to do, but if you just take away what's uncool about all these things, you realize they're all awesome.
Yep.
And I've also realized this in my older age. You give up, like you said. It's not really giving up, though. What it is, for me, is I realized what it is this. You either
don't care. You don't care what other people
but
think.
Yeah, but it's not in the sense of like I just don't care. It's that I realized maybe I let go of some like narcissism or whatever. What I realized is nobody cares about you.
Yes.
So like last year, or especially when I was really like collecting my sneakers, if I came to the office in Crocs, I would be walking around being like, I hope nobody says anything about it. I hope nobody makes fun of me. And I would be and look awkward. And then I realized nobody cares what I'm doing. Nobody cares what I'm wearing. So I'm just going to rock what I like. And then that's when it becomes cool because you're just wearing what you want and you wear it with confidence. But it's not a level of giving up. It's a level of understanding the world that you reach a point where it's like, it's like when you have a bad haircut or a pimple or something and you think everyone's looking at it. Yep. They're not. Nobody fucking cares. And once you realize that nobody cares and they're not looking at you or judging you, then you start to just do and wear and eat and go to places and do whatever you like. And then life becomes a lot. Well, it also usually coincides with all the hard shit and kids and all that. So life doesn't become fun, but those things become fun because you're just like, I'm going to do whatever, man.
It's the footwear version of the peanut butter and jelly. You have them as kids, Crocs as kids, you love peanut butter and jelly as kid, then you become too cool for PB&J.
Right.
I think you have
to stop.
I think you're like, AJ didn't come home, so he didn't have his PB&J. I'm going to eat it. And I'm like, fuck.
I'm going to make this for breakfast,
so
lunch, and dinner.
Good.
Yes.
So good.
So a couple things that we abandoned as kids that are just like, why did we do this? It was fucking fire. And then we just stopped for a while. And it's like, why?
The minivan, too. Like, you probably had a ball in those minivans, the party wagon or whatever, and then you become too cool. You're getting your little fucking shitty sedans or whatever.
My dream, actually, I almost did it this time. I think but when this lease is up, because I got 3 years on the Ford Explorer that I just got. Shout out to All American Ford. My guys Jason and Chris hooked me up. I got in and out of the fucking dealership in an hour and 15 minutes. Unprecedented.
Crazy.
Like, unprecedented.
Shorter than a podcast.
Nick, way shorter than a KFC radio podcast. You know more than anyone these days.
I mean, if we had an hour 15 podcast, that like my job would be
that's a segment on KFC radio.
That's this ad read. Have you done the call to action yet?
No, I did it. No, I'm there.
Okay.
I did do it. Yes, no, I did it. We're good.
All right, cool. I was wondering this whole time. I thought we were still doing an ad read.
No, we're good. We're good. I want to get like a murdered out minivan. Black on black, tinted. Even throw some fucking rims on that shit. I want it hooked up to the max. And I want it to be all the things that other cool cars have. The only difference is what? It's got, the shape to the back of it, and it's got the sliding doors. Like, this is undeniably a pimp my ride, tricked out car that I want people to, like, still try to hate on because it's a minivan.
Can I take it to the vision of this van? Because I got it in my head.
Yeah. What do we got?
The outside, it's that, like, it's the color of the Entenmann's chocolate frosted.
Ooh, like that matte black with like a little bit of shine to it, but it's not.
You open up that door, and it's the yellow interior.
Ooh.
We're doing donut vans right now. We're doing donut vans.
Yo, dog, I heard you like donuts and minivans.
It smells like the donut, too, man. That's the KFC mobile. That's your fucking future. That's your pen money. It goes right towards that first thing we do. Entenmann's mobile.
If Exhibit could pimp this ride, he would probably have like a baker, like a oven in the back where the donuts pop out. Almost, I know this is Krispy Kreme, not Entenmann's, but like those the
Lay's?
Yeah. Oh man, that would be. I'm gonna get the bowling alley in the Caribbean and the Intimates Mobile, and I'll be broke and I'll be happy.
You know why? Because you'll be wearing your Crocs all the time. And that's the funny thing. I've had so many people. They say whatever Crocs, if they release something or like there's just an event at the store, the lines go for miles. So there's the silent majority. They don't hear our voice.
That's actually what I wanted to get to. These Crocs are me. I am these Crocs. Finkel is Einhorn. I am these Crocs. These Crocs are KFC Radio. These Crocs are a lot of people at Barstool who they're in the internet world and in the Barstool world. There are the haves and the have-nots, and sometimes the haves earn it, like Clem, unbelievably likable guy. All the fans that love him, he deserves it. He gets no hate because he doesn't deserve any. And then there's the have-nots, where I'm more polarizing. I can be an asshole. I get why I have some haters, but there's also just this constant barrage of haters that make me feel like, well, wait a minute, like, am I doing something wrong? Until you start to look at your numbers and the revenue, and you learn and you realize that there's the silent majority. And people hear the term and they're like, yeah, whatever. When you really start to believe it and buy into it, that's KFC Radio, that's me, that's the Crocs, that's Nickelback, that's all of these things that people hate on that are billion-dollar enterprises, that the line's out the door, or the albums are going platinum, or whatever it may be, where it becomes almost a thing to make fun of them. Well, everybody either secretly or quietly sells them out. I mean, they're doing multiple collabs with Balenciaga, so you can't tell me it's not the shoe world and the fashion world doesn't embrace it.
There's two kinds of people in this world. The people that hate on those Crocs to their dying day.
And never give it a shot.
Yep. And the people that finally drop their guard down and say, I can't believe I waited this long.
And who do you want to be? Here's the thing. You also can pop them on. Like, when I first put them on, I was like, oh, shit, I actually don't like them. They felt weird. But then I came around on it. But at least I would have known.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, at least give it a shot. I feel like this is one giant ad for Crocs. Maybe holler at your boy. We could do some business, or at least fucking hook us up with some pairs. Am I right?
And everyone who's looking, it's like, I'm going to give it a shot. I think, like, it's funny, as a guy with, like, a wide foot, you almost have to get, like, a size down or half a size down. They're big boys. They're comfy.
I'm a usual 10.5. I went 10 because there is some width to them. And also, I know that the people, when I found out that the people call this thing sport mode, this thing is like you
could slide it on, put it forward, and you slide it on.
You
right?
can put it like
That's
that.
how I roll two wheel.
This is the where is it? This is the 2x2 as they call it, where you can just slide your foot in like a flip flop, and then then it does the flip flop, or the 4x4 as they call it, sport mode, where you put it on and it ever so gently just hugs the back of your heel. I like that because I don't like the flip flop. It makes. You ever get my calves hurt when I wear flip-flops?
Oh, yeah.
I curl my toes. It's weird.
Old as shit.
So, we're so old. So, I want to, when they say sport mode, are there people out here running in Crocs?
Oh, yeah. I would imagine so.
Not like running, like, you're not go out for a jog, but like, I feel like running and Crocs are mutually exclusive. I ain't trying to break a sweat when I'm rocking my Crocs.
And then we're not even going to get, like, fleece line. That's
I can't wait for the winter. I'm going to get the fleece line, slide them in. Oh, mama.
And you can wear them out if you want. You keep the socks in, but you don't want to sweat. You have to. It's like it's a balancing
you got to pick.
A balancing act.
For sure.
You're never going to want to take them off, so it's a real problem. And again, walking the dog, doing the grass, taking out the guard, just a slide on, slide off. Where sandals isn't enough sometimes.
You don't ever wear them to work? You keep them indoors and like for those little runs?
So I
said, fuck it. I'm just going to wear them.
There was a pact made on the Podfather. So we did a Podfather where we did a fashion show. We each bought our own Croc. And then we bought our own gibbets, which is a whole other thing now. The charms right there.
I just said, doesn't gibbet sound racist?
I do not like gibbets one bit.
Gibbet, oh. Call them a charm.
Call them charms.
Yeah.
At least that's what I call them. People get very offended when you don't call them gibbets. I'm like, listen, man,
come on.
we work for Barstool. I don't want to get in trouble here, right? I don't want to get the company lampooned. And everyone got to get, like, I think 5 charms and then their Crocs. And Chapsy, he got a pretty basic one. Large, he went fucking all. He had a gold chain on his. He had a biggie with a crown. You can get these things on Amazon. You get them through the Crocs website. And then I went straight up tie-dye, rainbow colored.
Oh, yeah, I
There's
saw
some
I
Knicks
seen
on
those.
there, some Mets. I went crazy. You can go crazy with it. Have fun.
Nick, can you pull up, type in Jeff Staple Crocs, and you'll see mine come with these huge pigeon feet. These red pigeon feet that you're supposed to put in this hole, and even that was too much for me. I was like, I love.
That's a lot, though.
That's a lot. I mean, it takes up the look at that thing. It's ridiculous, dude. Little pigeon feet on top of my Crocs. Are you kidding me?
And so the thing was, after the Podfathers draft, we did a vote. I think I won, and we said make a pact. If Chaps came to New York and we're all going to the office on the same day, we all have to wear our Crocs. That was the promise we made.
I'll be here when you do it, man. I know I'm
guess
not in the
it's dead
pod,
now, so I don't know if it's still a thing.
I'm fucking clicking my heels, man. Take me home with my Crocs. I love it, dude. All right, the big man is the Crocs ambassador, but I'm very happy to be part of Team Crocs. Careful of that. Dust them off for you. Let me get your dirt off your shoulder. Go over that. My man. It's really just about how comfortable you get in your own skin and in your own life.
So each time I go home, my parents request two things. So my mother asks for specific sheets from Bed Bath & Beyond, two pairs, and then my dad is always another pair of Crocs.
I love it.
He's a massive.
I mean, especially if you're outdoors, if you're in a hot weather place, if you slide them on and you got the air flowing through them, it just makes perfect sense. It really doesn't make sense for New York, but fuck it, I don't care. I'm comfortable, and it's really like I'm joking, but I really am not, in the sense of like when you have that epiphany that what people call it, the main character syndrome and narcissism and all that shit. I think people take it too far, where it's like, listen, everybody naturally worries about themselves and thinks about life in terms of themselves. Very, very, very rare people are so selfless and so empathetic that they worry about everybody else first. And then there's people who take it to the other extreme, where they are narcissists and they do think that they're the most important and that everything runs through them. And it can especially happen in this industry. And whether it's in something like this world or in life, when you finally realize, and whether you've got just friends and family, or you have followers on the internet, digital people that worry about you, and whether it's 1,000 people or 100,000 or 100 million, when you finally realize that like it doesn't really matter, it's very freeing. Now, I say that in the sense, like, I do believe that in some ways. I also think that there's a lot of times where people care way too much about my life and what I do and what celebrities do. I mean, when it comes to my personal life and choices and rights and wrongs, I'm always like, why the fuck do you guys even give a shit? Even with the latest drama, it's like, I stay out of it because it's like, I don't care. I don't have an opinion either way, because those people are adults doing what adults do, and everything's safe and consensual, and whether it's distasteful or not, that's not for me to really decide, because I don't even know what's truly going on. So, on the one hand, I think people often care too much about shit, but I think they care in a very surface level way. I think give it a couple weeks, no one's even thinking about, this drama, that drama. The things that really matter, maybe, but the outside things of, like I said, what your haircut looks like, or if you're wearing fucking Crocs, or what your kind of car you drive, you care about it for a minute, they care about it for a minute, and then everybody moves on, and now you're stuck with something like clothes you don't like to actually wear, or hair that looks stupid, or shoes that are uncomfortable, or a car that you don't want, all because you were thinking about other people and trying to keep up some sort of image, when the truth shall set you free. Shout out to Liar Liar.
That's me right now with my dreadlocks.
Yeah, man. What do you mean? Like
I've been trying to cut them for years,
because
but everybody says they look nice.
They look nice, so you don't want them, but they do look fine.
Yeah, I'm a slave to what people
now.
say.
So okay, but here's the thing: is it strictly because other people, or do you like how they look too?
So I don't mind how they look. It's just more how they feel now, especially now with the temperature getting a little warmer.
Yeah.
So
oh man, I can't even.
If
imagine.
I can power through these next 5-6 months,
Get
I'll
to
be
the
all
fall
right.
and winter. Yeah. I mean,
when-
I totally feel that, and I can't also sit here and be like some fucking hippy dippy. Nobody else's opinion matters. you could make the argument that's all that matters in this world.
In what we do, that's literally all that matters.
But for when people say like no, other people don't matter, it's like other people who are hating on you and trying to take you down intentionally, they don't matter. But the people who you care about and the people who you do like and the people who you do want to interact with, their opinion does matter. You could really make the argument that we are put on this earth to interact with other people, and what people say about you and who you're friends with and who you're not friends with and who you sleep with and who all of that shit defines who you are. So in that sense, it does matter. I think it's just when it comes to things that are a little bit less important, like your shoes or your fashion or your car or whatever, and when it comes to people who don't actually truly care, they're just, angry people on the internet or people who are trying to take you down. Those things you should set yourself free. Those things you should just not give a fuck about. And it's easier said than done. But when you do it, I wrote that blog I called The Edge. If you haven't read it before, I wrote it on Easter Sunday or maybe Easter Monday, whatever it was, maybe like 3 years ago. And it was the first time and really the only time I poured out my guts on everything that happened with me and my life being a single dad. And I still probably left fucking 70%, unsaid because it's just drama that I don't think is anybody else's business and people don't deserve to know. But the whole point of the blog and the reason why I called it The Edge is because I read this Hunter S. Thompson quote. I believe it's Hunter S. Thompson. And he said it's something to the effect of like, I'm going to butcher my own fucking quote here if you can get it for me. It's, The Edge. Oh my God, my eyes are going. I can't even read it. There's no honest way to explain it because the only people who really know are the people who have gone over the edge. So, I went through, it's like going through the fire too. It's like I can't tell you what that's like until you've done it. And you sit comfortably away from the edge and you judge me and you make fun of me and you call me names or whatever. But I'm like, when people say to me, like, why would we listen to this guy when he talks about family or marriage or kids, he cheated. It's like, well, because I did that is why you should listen. Because I'm the one who went over the edge and I can tell you what's at the bottom. Because that's where you go. You fucking plummet and then you got to get back up to the top. And so once, you realize those things, that it's like the people talking to you or hating on you or making fun of the little things in life haven't ever really gone through that anything in life, that they, they're not even really in a position to give an opinion. And that the people who have are the ones that can give it. And they probably, in most cases, when you go over the edge in a bad way, your opinion should be, why it is bad and why you shouldn't do it. But that feeling, that can be very freeing, where you just kind of stop caring. Like, I don't know if people kept up with the comedy drama in the last couple weeks. In the comic world, there's a whole bunch of high school drama as well. I was going to talk about it last week, but we had our own fucking fiasco. So in the comedy world, if you kind of know some of these names, you'll understand. If not, you can still get the basics. There was two girls on a podcast called Trash Tuesday. They were making allusions and references to a time that another comic hit on them. And eventually that was revealed to be Brendan Schaub, who was a friend of ours and came on our show. And prior to all this drama coming out, because it ended up being that they said he tried to hit on him, and then he came back and said, if you talk about me again, I'll sue you. And then there was this whole thing about how he bullied one of those girls' boyfriends. And it really just became this like high school cafeteria drama, very similar to the childish shit going on here at Barstool, where it's like, come on, everybody grow up. But what was interesting is that right before all that happened, I had Brendan Schaub on my show. And Brendan is one of the only guys I know on the internet who can understand the level of hate that I get. A lot of times when people are like, dude, I have haters too. I know what it's like. I'm like, no, you don't. You don't know it like this. And maybe I don't know your level of hate either. It's all different. But what I get, is crazy. It's toxic. It's endless. It's relentless. There's a lot of people all day, every day on everything that I ever post. But Brendan Schaub gets it just as much as I do, maybe if not worse. And I had an idea to go to him and say, you're coming on my show this week. Why don't we try to do something different? Why don't we try to do something very unique and interesting and epic where we just lay it all on the line? Let's be very honest and upfront. Because Brendan was one of those guys who usually said, oh, I don't read the comments, or I don't see it, doesn't affect me. And I can tell you now that anybody who says that, it's bullshit. And they're either lying about not reading the comments, or they're lying about how it doesn't hurt their feelings and affect them. The only thing that you can hope to actually really do is I read the comments, I see the comments, and I don't let it affect how I do my content or live my life. You can try to minimize it. You can stay away from a Reddit page. You can unfollow and mute and block. But when you have a wave of haters, they're going to get to you one way or another. And the only thing you can do is don't tell people you don't see it. Don't tell people you don't know it. Oh, I didn't even know that was happening. Yes, you did. If you're on the internet and you make it your job, of course you know. You should know. And it's just about saying I'm not going to let that change me because I've got a silent majority that fuck with me. And that's what I wanted to do with Brendan, is because I struggle to accept it with myself, but I can see it in someone like him. I'm like, listen, man, maybe people make fun of your comedy specials because you're new to the comedy game, relatively speaking, and you're still working on it. But meanwhile, you're making he's probably making between like $5 and $10 million a year with all of his other work. He's one of the earliest podcasters, one of the best businessmen, whatever all that drama was, put all that aside, he's got like 4 or 5 very successful shows that makes a lot of money. And when that's the case, there's a tangible result. That means that a lot of people fuck with you and like you. And there might be some people chirping, but clearly not enough, because look at how successful you've been. And I can say that about other people. I find it hard to accept it for myself, but when I saw that in Brendan, I saw a lot of it. It's like, wow, I should take my own advice here. And so I wanted to do an episode like that, where I wanted to say, so you do feel, let's be honest, you do see that there's a lot of hate. And how do you handle that? And I could talk about my experience. I ended up not doing it because we are friendly, but I was like, I'm not that close with him. That's probably a show that he should do with the people close to him. And what ended up happening, he goes through this dumb drama, and he realized he had to do it. There are certain points in life when you start to go through some shit, you got to go through it. You can't go back. It is like going through a fire in a logical sense of if you're already halfway through the fire, you're in the middle of it, go through and get out. Because if you go backwards and try to hide from it, and then eventually still have to get to point B, you got to go through the fire again. So you might as well, while you're in it, go through it. Go over the edge, go through the fire, whatever fucking euphemism you want to use, because then it disarms the haters, if you're talking about it in a literal sense, of people chirping at you and hating you and knowing that they get under your skin, where you just kind of admit to it, but also acknowledge that you're still doing fine. But even forget about them. It's just for your own psyche to, when you just be honest, let it out. Let the truth out. Let the skeletons out. Acknowledge weaknesses and vulnerability and all that shit. Then you're just like, well, it's kind of over now. And that, I know this is probably not relatable in the sense of podcasters and stand-up comics and rich people and famous people in LA and all that shit. But I think if you go through anything in life, personally, professionally, romantically, when the chips are down, or when the shit hits the fan, or whatever you want to call it, trying to run from it only makes it worse. Trying to put up a wall and deny it only makes it worse. And when you take all your skeletons out of the closet and you put them on the fucking, I always say that I prop them right up on the couch and the lazy boy, and all my skeletons are right there in the fucking living room, then I can just live my life, man. And the haters, the people really trying to tear you down, either recognize well, it's not working. He knows it's happening. He's not hiding from it anymore. And look, he's making millions of dollars a year. And so it's either not working and they stop, or you just grow to the point where it's like becomes white noise, man. You just don't even fucking hear it anymore. I wish I had done it on my show, and maybe it's something that he would be open to next time he comes through. I do think it's better that he did it with Brian Callen and the guys who were by his side, and they were able to tell some of their truths and all that shit. And it was not really my place, because seeing as how I'm just a professional acquaintance and not really like a everyday friend on the West Coast. But when he comes back, I would love to talk about it, because I try to think of the people who probably could count on one hand, maybe with only a couple fingers, the amount of people who deal with like the endless barrage of hate. And he's right there with me, and I maybe mine's different too, because I have like the affair that people seem to harp on. Brendan's is like people just don't like the fact that he is successful and got a chance to do comedy when other people had to grind it out. I don't know. To me, that's like maybe he didn't put in 25 years of open mics, but he put in fucking work in a goddamn octagon, and he fought and like physically put in work and endangered himself to become a fighter, to become a personality, which then people liked to hear from on podcasts, which then turns into hopefully stand-up in his mind. Now, me and him, I see like a lot of similarities where it's like I would never do stand-up comedy because I don't think that's my strong suit, and I don't really have the drive to do that. I think he would probably be better suited to just stick to doing podcasts that he crushes and makes a lot of money. I would then maybe do stand-up on the side and let people come see me live. I just wouldn't feel the need to put out an hour-long special, because when you do that, people start to compare you to fucking Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock and people who have specials. What I don't like about the comedy world is that there's specials. There's just like good and bad specials. That's it. And actually, it's more like great and bad. There's no like levels to it where it's like, not you watch a special and it's like, is it as good as Killing Them Softly was? Is it as good as, Chris Rock, Bigger and Blacker? Is it as good as, I don't know the Eddie Murphy ones, but Delirious and Raw back in the day? Is it as good as Bert's and Tom's and DeStefano's new one? And people don't just, it's like sports in my mind. I always think of comedy and sports as very similar, where it's like, okay, this guy is not fucking Mike Trout, but he's good. I'm going through it right now with the Mets and Francisco Lindor. He's not living up to a $300 million contract, but he's good. And the people who are hating against it, comparing him because of money that they didn't spend or they don't care about, or just unrealistic expectations, it's like, why can't we acknowledge where everybody fits in? If you're a young athlete, if you're a new athlete, if you're you judge by position, or if you're a comic, if you're new to it, you've been working in it for a while, if it's your number one thing versus it's my secondary career. Why can't you watch a special or watch something and be like, oh, that was funny, it was good, it's not, or it was bad, but that doesn't mean I fucking hate this person on the whole. So you can have a bad special but still do a great podcast. You can have a bad special but still be an awesome dude. You can have a good special, but that doesn't mean it has to be fucking Dave Chappelle. It's very strange how much the comedy world kind of gatekeeps on that whole like special idea. And that's where I think it benefits Brendan and really anybody. Like if he came out and said like, I'm coming from a place of like, yes, I know I got to skip ahead in the process because of work that I've done in other careers and industries. And so now I'm trying to do this thing and I love it and I'm getting better at it and I just want to try to achieve it. And I hope that, fans support me in doing that. And then I think people do hopefully, take that on rather than just be like, this guy, he thinks he's funny. I don't think he's funny. He's not fucking Bill Burr, so fuck him. There's levels to it that I think that a little bit of nuance. And it's not even nuance. It's just basic. It's like you understand who are the guys who are the top, and you understand the guys who are the bottom, and you understand the guys who are in the middle. And so why don't we, judge it that way? And I don't understand why comedy's gotten tough, man. The comedy scene is a lot of people. You'll see next week we have Jeremiah Watkins on the show. It's a very funny, goofy, wacky comic. And we kind of talked about how Jackass was the ultimate, where they weren't trying to be cool. They were just trying to entertain. They were just trying to be fun. And it wasn't about your takes. It wasn't about who, right or wrong. It wasn't about how many followers. It was just like, I'm going to do some goofy shit and some funny shit to entertain you. And I think comedy's gotten like so far away from that. I say this as a outsider who, doesn't do comedy, but as a fan who consumes it. It's like I like it much better when people aren't worrying about their reputations and images and followers and where they fall on the major issues because they have a platform and a duty and they have to have gone through a certain extent of all of these, these benchmarks of how many years you did open mics and blah, 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 blah. Like, I don't know, man. It's exhausting. It's like it's kind of like when people have a job that they got through their parents or something. It's like if they worked hard, they took it, and they ran with it, then what do you want them to do? What do you want them to, how can you hate on people who do it the right way if they were, took advantage of an opportunity? To me, that's wild. So, in a way, I mean, that's, like I said, it's all very insular to the comedy world, but I think can be applied to almost any industry or any lifestyle. So, I can't connect to my calls here. I do want to take a couple more before we get out of here. You want to put some through? If we have any.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we got a couple. Actually, old time. So take it back to the CCK days. We got Dominican Dylan on the line.
Hey, my guy.
I wish I could play the song, but we can't. Dylan, you're on, bro.
What's up, Dill?
Yo, what you telling me, guys? It's been a minute.
For real. How you doing?
Not good. Same old. Little trouble here, little trouble there.
That's life.
Yeah, already. I heard you talking about all that stuff, man. I'm telling you. I don't know how on the level you guys get it, but, like, with, like, haters and stuff like that, man, like, it's either, like, a blessing and a curse the way I live it. Like, I just don't give a shit about, like, anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good
and bad, yeah. Like, I always say it's kind of lame to be like, I don't give a shit about anything. It's like, well, you should have some passions and you should have some opinions and stand for certain things. But also, I do,
the things I give a shit about, some people will say it's stupid. Like, obviously, sports.
Sure. I always say that. It's like sports. Shit. Sports is the dumbest thing that we, really care about. But, But, what you think is important to you is stupid to me and vice versa. So, don't even bother trying to.
At the same time, too, you got some people, like, I saw some clip the other day with Will Smith's kid talking about he wants to talk politics and all that. To me, that shit is dumb.
Yeah, right. I mean, to me,
he sounds like a clown when he says this.
Yeah, I think I said the other day that politics is like stupid, and someone was like, "Oh, you mean like international affairs and foreign and domestic policy is stupid?" I'm like, no. That stuff is important. Politics, quote unquote, where you're arguing basically like we argue about sports because your team, your franchise. Democrat, Republican, Libertarian, whatever, is, you want to defend them. That's just like arguing about sports and the celebrity couples that you like. That is just a vice and a guilty pleasure like all the other people out here.
Oh, yeah, like reality TV. Like, I'm a sucker for that shit. You put on a Siesta Key, The Bachelor, or something like that. I'm caught up in it, man.
Totally, man. And that's because, but like then the people who take it far enough that they would get into that they would find them and talk shit to them.
Message people and then message families and stuff. Yeah, like,
those are the people.
Just watch it on TV.
Exactly.
Like your guys' little drama last week. I watched it from the sidelines. Listen, I enjoyed it. I watched everything. I like the drama. I enjoyed it, but I'm not commenting on people and all that stuff.
Exactly.
Just watch from the sidelines, man.
And I don't get why people, I just never. I know I ended up doing it for a career in a sense, but I don't think if I didn't, I don't think I would ever I would comment fun things maybe, shout out people or say that I like it or try to be funny, but hate is a weird. It's like leaving Yelp reviews. Like, you guys are fucking weird, man. These are weird things that you feel you have to talk about. I don't get it, dude.
Yeah. You know what it is? My pops always told me this. And then I started realizing this. People think they're, more important than what they are. No one gives a shit about you, man.
And
Nobody gives a shit about you.
That brings it full circle, man. I'm so happy you said that because that's exactly what I'm talking about. Whether it's something silly like wearing fucking Crocs or it's something real about, how you handle your job or your relationship or your friends. People don't really give a shit. So just do what makes you happy and what makes the people around you happy as long as it's all safe and legal and smart and all that shit.
Yeah.
They don't care, so just do you.
That's what I'm saying, man. I'm telling you. Listen, I'm like Zado. When I put on the braids and stuff like that, sometimes you get a couple girls like, oh, it looks nice, this and that.
It makes you feel good.
I'm keeping it.
Yeah.
Listen, if a girl says something, if a pretty girl says something, listen, whatever guys say, girls, this and that, listen, man. A pretty girl says something to me, that's just getting stored, and I'm keeping whatever she's telling me to keep.
Bro, the minute some pretty girl says, those Crocs are lame, taking them off, put on my Jordans, let's go.
They want to like play with the dreadlocks.
They want to play with it. They got questions. 100%. Love it.
The chicks in the bar is always like, oh, can I touch it? That's where I'm like, no, you're not messing up the fade and all that.
Yeah, but here's the thing.
Put your hands on other things, but you ain't.
Yeah, I was gonna say right away they're trying to touch it, so that's a good thing, my man.
I know that is true. I'm telling you, Zaz probably knows what he's talking about. Zaz out in Jersey and shit doing his thing and shit. All the white girls going crazy. They got little dreadlocks and shit.
He's living that life, dude. I hope you are too. Shout out to your dad too. He's always got good advice.
Yeah, no, he's doing his crazy thing. He's up in Boston now because of fucking Celtics now. That team to lose and shit.
I know. I need Boston out. I need the Rangers and Boston out so I can continue my hate fest.
No, not the Rangers. Not the. You're not a Rangers fan?
No, because Rangers fans are Yankee fans, and so I hate Yankee fans. All right, I'm up against the clock, bro. Let me run because it's 11:30. But I'll talk.
Stay blessed. I'll talk to you later.
All right, have a good one. As always, though, we got to wrap up. I'll put them through quick. I know you got some questions, but we can't get through it today, Corey. But just let the people know the most important thing of the day.
You are the most underrated genius in the history of the world, standing beside me.
Facts. We'll see you guys next week, Corey. We'll get to you next time. Thanks to everybody who called in. Shout out to Danny. Fuck Jordan Peterson. And we'll catch you guys next week on the Kevin Clancy Show.